All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're having a wonderful day. It is March 5th, 2025, and we are coming off of a lot of volatility. Yesterday, we had the freak out with tariffs, and we are coming off of a lot of, you had a lot of back and forth, and then after hours, after all of the craziness, you started to get rumors about Lutnick saying that the White House was going to make an agreement with Canada and Mexico. Now, Lutnick, he spoke this morning. He explained it a little bit more. We are going to be hearing from the White House, but generally, we are still playing this tariff back and forth. We have ISM services today. You got the private payrolls, and they were a lot softer than expected, so people are already on ice. And then we had the State of the Union yesterday. We heard everything from rates to immigration, and now we are coming into a very big week with a lot of people asking about the dollar, the rally, the volatility, and then you even had some huge action in Germany, and they kind of came out of nowhere with this huge stimulus. So should be a wild day. It is middle of the week, baby, so I hope you are locked and loaded, but we got an exciting one. Let's see what today brings. But good morning. What's up, baby? How we doing, Gunner? IPAC, Lorenzo, Zoraj, PNC in the house, baby. Good morning. What up, Andrew? What up, Caballero, Tyree, Humble Business, Kurt McGard, Noah. Yay! Oh, good morning, baby. What up, Dakota? Bushnell, Lorenzo, on it, Adolfo, Nick, Morgan, Hunt, baby. What up, Energy? What up, Alman, Brown, Tom Crows, baby. Jamar, ready to go. Trey Kush, Mayhem, Dave, Mr. Dragos, baby. Andrew Griffin, Mr. Jordan, Laurie, Luis, Micah, Lucky Soldier, baby. What's going on? What up, Bean? What up, Onion? What up, Winning Loser? What up, Open Face Sandwich? Oh, my goodness. Good morning, baby. What about the Twitch? What about Swinging Bear, Slizzin, Stock Sasquatch, Relentless, T-Toxie, Senor, Payday Devil, Feed Me Seymour, Dio, It's Mums, Lizzie, Triple Three, Blazing Bob, Epic Eric, Blowing Dough, Robo Hand Tech, and Pie Guy. His name is Pie Guy. I think for the last 6 months I called him Piggy. I know, so if I listen, if you don't correct me on your name, I'm going to keep calling it Abivi, okay? I'm just letting it. The whole time I've been calling him Piggy. You know that. And then I got an email, and I read the email, and it said Pie Guy. And I said, oh, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. So, Chatadonia, I hope you guys are locked and loaded and ready to go. But here's Josh AI with the news, baby. Good morning. U.S. futures rise as traders hope for tariff relief. U.S. stock futures pointed to gains on Wall Street amid hopes President Donald Trump's administration might walk back some of its tariffs. European equities surged and bunds tumbled on Germany's spending plans. Contracts on the S&P 500 index rose 0.4%, and NASDAQ 100 futures gained 0.5% as shares of automakers, banks, and chip firms jumped in pre-market trading after U.S. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick hinted at tariff relief for Mexico and Canada. Goldman Sachs Group Inc. and Citigroup Inc. rose more than 1%, while Tesla Inc. was poised to recover from a 4-month low. U.S. equities capped their worst two-day slump since December on Tuesday before the comments from Lutnick, who told Fox Business that Trump may offer a path to alleviate some tariff pressure. Traders will be watching data due later today for a snapshot of the state of the economy. The market doesn't like uncertainty, and tariffs will most likely continue to be an overhang risk, Natalia Lipikina, EMEA equity strategy head at JP Morgan Private Bank, said. But if we are looking at earnings growth in the U.S., we actually see double-digit growth in 2025 and 2026. We are buyers of the dip at this point. In an address to Congress, Trump acknowledged that there may be an adjustment period to tariffs as he defended his policies to remake the U.S. economy. 10-year Treasury yields traded steady at 4.24%, while the dollar sank 0.4%. And in Europe, the stock 600 benchmark jumped 1.6% and bonds tumbled after Chancellor-in-waiting Friedrich Merz outlined a sweeping fiscal overhaul that could boost the European economy. A sale of new 30-year bonds attracted solid demand. Speculation that more spending will fan inflation, requiring tighter policy from the European Central Bank, lifted the euro toward its best three-day run since November 2022 and sent 10-year bond yields at least 10 basis points higher in the UK, France, Italy, and Spain. Huge quantities of debt in the coming years is going to be quite disruptive for European bond markets, particularly the long end of the curve, said Peter Kinsella, global head of FX strategy at Union Bancaire Privée UBPSA in London. We've not seen this type of issuance pretty much since the early 1990s when Germany was paying for reunification. China growth. Hong Kong shares outperformed after the National People's Congress in Beijing set an economic growth target of about 5% for 2025, the third straight year it has maintained that goal. Given the broadening global uncertainty on tariffs and geopolitics, economists expect Chinese officials to add stimulus. On the corporate front, BlackRock Inc., the world's biggest asset manager, led a consortium that will buy a controlling stake in Panama ports and a larger unit that has operations across 23 countries. It's one of the biggest acquisitions of the year that marks a win for Trump, who had raised concerns over control of key ports near the Panama Canal. And in commodities, oil extended its decline and gold steadied near a record high. Bitcoin swung between gains and losses. Germany loosens fiscal chains to transform European defense. Germany will unlock hundreds of billions of euros for defense and infrastructure investments in a dramatic shift that upends its ironclad controls on government borrowing. Chancellor-in-waiting Friedrich Merz said on Tuesday night that Germany would amend the constitution to exempt defense and security outlays from limits on fiscal spending and do whatever it takes to defend the country. He said that with the backing of his likely coalition partners, he is also planning a 500 billion euros, $528 billion infrastructure fund to invest in priorities such as transportation, energy grids, and housing over 10 years. Trump hails tariffs as U.S. economy barrels into trade wars. President Donald Trump took the lectern Tuesday for his primetime address, beset by warning signs about the U.S. economy and acknowledged to Americans there could be more discomfort ahead. Trump defended his plan to remake the world's largest economy through the biggest tariff increases in a century, saying it would raise trillions and trillions in revenue and rebalance trading relationships he called unfair. He cast the economic pain the levies are expected to cause in the form of higher prices as a little disturbance the nation ought to be able to overcome. Tariffs are about making America rich again and making America great again, and it's happening, and it will happen rather quickly, he said. There'll be a little disturbance, but we're okay with that. It won't be much, Twent. BlackRock's ports deal marks new reach hands win to Trump. BlackRock Inc. led one of the biggest acquisitions of the year in a deal that marked both the firm's expanded reach in infrastructure and a win for U.S. President Donald Trump, who had raised concerns over control of key ports near the Panama Canal. And the world's biggest asset manager led a consortium that will buy a controlling stake in Panama ports that had become a political lightning rod and a larger unit that has operations across 23 countries. C.K. Hutchison, the conglomerate founded by Hong Kong billionaire Li Ka-shing, said it would receive cash proceeds of more than $19 billion from the sale. Top overnight news. U.S. President Trump said in his address to the joint session of Congress that America is back and they have taken swift and relentless action and are just getting started. Trump announced he will create a new Office of Shipbuilding in the White House and will offer new tax incentives for shipbuilding while he is fighting every day to make America affordable again, and reiterated his call to drill for more oil. Furthermore, Trump said they will eliminate inflation by reducing all fraud, waste, and theft of public money 2020 and stated that reciprocal tariffs will kick in on April 2nd. President Donald Trump's administration is considering granting relief from his 25% tariffs on Canadian and Mexican imports to products that comply with the trade pact he negotiated with the two U.S. neighbors during his first term. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick said on Tuesday, RTRS. Trump called for ending the bipartisan $52 billion chip subsidy program, saying it's a horrible, horrible thing. An end to subsidies will end up benefiting the Chinese AI and semiconductor sector. BBG and border crossings along the U.S.-Mexico border plummeted to the lowest level in decades during Feb, giving Trump a major victory. Axios. German borrowing costs surged by the most in 17 years as investors bet on a big boost to the country's ailing economy from a historic deal to fund investment in the military and infrastructure. The yield on the 10-year bund surged 21 BPS to 2.69%, its biggest one-day move since 2008 FT Google is urging DOJ officials to back away from a push to break up the company, citing national security concerns. People familiar said the Biden administration called for changes, including the sale of its Chrome web browser, with hearings scheduled for next month. BBG. China's NPC numbers are largely consistent. WA's recent media reports, including a GDP growth objective of around 5%, inflation around 2%, and a fiscal deficit target of 4%, while officials pledge to boost domestic consumption. WSJ. China's cakes and services PMI comes in ahead of expectations for Feb at 51.4, up from 51 in Jan and above the streets 50.7 forecast. BBG. BOJ's Uchida said the BOJ can raise interest rates at a pace in line with dominant views among financial markets and economists, keeping alive expectations that there is a chance of a near-term increase in borrowing costs despite Trump tariff risks. RTRS. There's more. S&P futures, they are little changed on Wednesday morning near the worst pre-market levels. Comes after U.S. equities sold off on Tuesday with the S&P and Russell all down more than 1%. Cyclicals underperform with financials seeing outsized pressure. S&P has now given back all of its gains since the election, losing nearly $3.5 trillion of value. Treasuries unchanged to a bit firmer across the curve, with global bond yields seeing upward pressure. Dollar is down by 0.6, gold is down by 0.5, and Bitcoin up by 3, with WTI down by 2.3. A few notable developments in focus. Commerce Secretary Lutnick said this morning that Canada-Mexico tariff will be expected, decisions expected this afternoon, noted that the rate will be 25%, but some categories, including autos, could be left out. Comes after Lutnick yesterday flagged potential tariff rate relief for Canada and Mexico. Elsewhere in the morning, ADP private payrolls came in much softer than expected, playing into recent growth and policy uncertainty concerns. European equities and bond yields surging on the back of whatever it takes moment in Germany. CDU, CSU, and SPD agreed to substantial fiscal expansion for infrastructure and defense. Busy day for data, including February private payrolls, which came in at 77,000, below 150 and down from 186 in January. ISM services and factory orders on the economic calendar this morning, followed by the Beige Book. ISM services expected to come in little changed at 52.7 after 52.8 print in January. Trade balance, final non-farm unit labor, Q4, and initial claims and inventories on Thursday. Fed, Harker, Waller, and Bostic on to speak as well. And then February employment report on Friday with Powell, Williams, and Kugler all scheduled to speak. Google reportedly urging DOJ to back away from push to break up company, citing national security concerns. Tesla saw a 75% decline in German registrations last month. Crowd hit by declining AIR and disappointing Q1 revenue, softer Q1 and full-year guidance. NVO to lower cost of all doses of Wegovy to $4.99 a month. Flutter full-year guide largely in line with consensus for U.S., which seemed to be good enough. Ross Q4 comps and EPS better, though full-year guide light, and company noted headwinds from weather and elevated volatility volatility macro environment. Dollar Tree new CFO. CPB lowered guide on softness in some snacking categories. ANF EPS missed and guided below. Box April quarter guide below. AVAV down big on miss and guide below. The company flagging unprecedented high winds and fires in Southern California. THO margin and guide worse at noted macro challenges remain. And then CMRX to be acquired by Jazz in $935 million deal. Wow, Habibi, there's more. Commerce Secretary Letnick flags potential tariff relief for Canada and Mexico. Addressing Congress, Trump touts tariffs and energy projects, downplays economic concerns. IRS planning to reduce 90,000 workforce by as much as half. Republican deficit hawks say a government funding package with higher spending levels would force them to seek additional savings. Trump tariff raises stagflation fears as economists warn of weaker growth and higher prices. Auto manufacturers warn of drastic price hikes on Trump tariffs. Trump trade war adds headwinds to confronting U.S. economy. Small U.S. businesses face job losses and revenue decline amid economic strains. Eurozone financial composite PMI confirms economy in stagnation. UK service firms cut at the fastest pace since 2020. Japan firms stockpiling U.S. inventory in bid to ease impact of Trump tariffs. Japan service activity rises to a 6-month high amid stronger growth in sales and new export. Japan largest union seeks 6% wage hike for full-time workers in 25 negotiations. Australian GDP growth in line supported recovery and consumption. Germany's next government proposes massive spending on defense and infrastructure. Trump admin prepares executive order to revitalize shipbuilding and counter China's maritime dominance. U.S. and Ukraine plan to sign mineral deals. Zelensky says Ukraine remains committed to signing a deal at any time. European leaders brace for 5 minutes to midnight nightmare summit. French President Macron plans televised address on Ukrainian defense on Wednesday. Arab leaders endorse Egyptian reconstruction plan for Gaza. China toughens language on Taiwan reunification. Governor Ueda, Bank of Japan, warns geopolitical tensions, risk financial stability, and capital outflow reversal. Bank of Japan Deputy Governor Uchida says normalization will continue if outlook for economic activity is realized. RBA Deputy Governor cites trade war fears and slowing growth as drivers for cut. RBNZ Governor Orr announces resignation. Global defense stocks surge as Europe and Asia ramp up military spending. German breaks fiscal shackles to boost defense spending, sparking Euro rally, but also inflating bond yields. China target 2025 GDP growth of 5%, reaffirms guidance. China raises deficit ratio to the highest since 1994, boosts issue of special treasury. China property market stabilization efforts to include giving cities more leeway in purchasing unsold homes. Google urges DOJ to not break up the company. Apple challenges UK government demand for iCloud encryption. Disney to cut 200 jobs amid declining TV viewership. Goldman Sachs is planning on cutting 3 to 5% of workforce in annual performance review. CrowdStrike forecasts first quarter revenue below estimates. Box shares tumble on weak guidance. Hong Kong firms to sell Panama Canal stake to BlackRock amid Trump pressure. Adidas sees growth at high single-digit rate in 2025, and Bayer sees improvement in 2026 after profit decline. Wow, Habibi. There's more. There is more, my friends. Where is it? I'm in a coat. Hey, it's Wednesday. It's Wednesday. It's only Wednesday. We got a couple days left, baby. Tesla or Stellantis. They're up at 8.9. Lutnick indicates Mexico, Canada compromise. Myrna up 7.3. GM, Toyota, Ford, they're all up on that Lutnick. EC is up by 4.6 off of earnings. NVO is up by 4.5. Launches NovaCare Pharmacy to lower cost of Wegovy. SW up by 4.2. Brown-Forman up 4 off earnings. ACI up 3.5 to join S&P Midcap 400. ANET up 2.4. UBS upgrade. Ford, Lutnick, GD 2.1. Trump to establish shipbuilding in White House. Palantir 2.0. William Blair upgrade. GEV 2. Guggenheim upgrade. Intuit up 1.9. JP Morgan upgrade. TS up by 1.8. Completes buyback. Repurchase 36 million shares. IP is up by 1.5. Citi resumes buy. RCL is up by 0.8. Loop Capital upgrade. HII is up by 10. Trump to establish Office of Shipbuilding. RevG is up by 6.2 off earnings. ALV 5.4. Lutnick comments. FL is up by 3.5 off earnings. Nibis is up by 3.1. New data center in New Jersey. MOS is up by 2.4. Barclays upgrade. Chimrex 69.4 to be acquired for $8.55 a share. OPFI is up by 16 off earnings. IVVD continued clinically meaningful in vitro neutralization data. NEXN up by 12.5, CDXC up 11 off earnings, SCOR is up by 9.5 off earnings, HMR 9.4, Shipbuilder STM is up by 7.1 off earnings, EOSE 6.6 off earnings, CRML up 5.7. Trump touts importance of rare earth. FLNC is up by 2.9. Mizuho initiates outperform. Metals higher, crypto higher, China higher, European ADRs higher, trading lower. Crowd is down by 8.2 off earnings. Campbell's down 4.8 off earnings. T-Mobile down 2. HSBC downgrade. ED down 1.5 to issue 6 million shares. Ross down 0.9 off earnings. AVAV is down 21 off earnings. THO down 9 off earnings. ANF down 7 off earnings. CRDO down 6 off earnings. HIMS down 3.8 in reaction to NVO Wegovy. HTGC down 3.1, 250 convertible note offering. And SSYS down 2 off earnings. And I think that's it. Oh, man. Well, look at the time, Chad. Look at the time. We made good time, baby. We made good time. So, again, you're going to hear from the White House. We even have a press briefing today. ISM services, that'll probably dictate most of the day until we get trade. And then before you know it, you're setting up for all the Fed speakers, Powell, and the non-farm payrolls. And then Germany is big today. Again, it's been 30 years since they have done anything like they have done. We could even talk a lot of macro theories if we really wanted to. But Chadadonia, I hope you're feeling good. I hope you're feeling blessed. But here at the Cult, before we do anything, this is why we're here, baby. For real, man. We wouldn't be here without the level of freedom, and the fact of the matter is, and I'm honored to even share this space with people who have served this country, because we would not be here if people did not give up so much for the greater good. So that's why before we do anything, before we try to chase a dollar, I think we really need to pay homage to a very special group of people. I hope you carry this in your hearts. I hope you actually bring this into real life. And we hear all this stuff in politics, this and that. But at the end of the day, man, regardless of politics, color, race, ethnicity, religion, people have came together and they have served this nation for the greater good, and we should all honor that. It's probably one of the most respectable things you could do out there, and at the end of the day, it is so easy to take it for granted and overlook it. That's why I hope we could get $6 billion to house the homeless vets one day, but in the meantime, we need to do our part, show that love, pay homage, and I really hope y'all bring this to real life. And veterans, active service, man, the families, thank you for everything, and please get a long-term. Please go get that crib. You get the VA. If anybody deserves the biggest long-term, it is you guys. So thank you. God bless all of you, and big shout-out to anybody else out there giving back to their local communities, all the doctors, nurses, teachers, firefighters, police officers, the janitors, the coaches, the garbage men, anybody making their community run. God bless you, and thank you, baby. But, ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Place your right hand over your heart. Say it with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all, baby. Oh, it's game time, baby. Horna, let's go. Oh, Chadadonia. Chadadonia. Shout out to vets, baby. Thank you. Thank you for allowing us to be here today. They don't feel me, bro. They don't feel me. So, Chadadonia, I hope you're ready. We got a lot of time to go over plays and all of that. So, in the meantime, let's make this switch on over. That's it now. We're going to General Pop. Does that mean you're in jail? I don't know. Either way, here is the link. I will see you there in a second. God bless America. Thank you again to the veterans. The veterans. I'm excited today. And let's go, baby. It's going to be a wild one. Happy Wednesday. I will see you there.